So I thought I finished my ride after I finished question 7, and I just thought I would do the next question to kind of get all these out of the way. And this is a good one. I looked at it right before I left for my ride, and I thought about it, and this really is kind of the Wong way. Another one of these things where it's the meat of what the Wong way is, and is question number 8. How do you always stay so positive in life? It's the reason how I do it is because I've got an amazing life, and I know that, and I appreciate that, and I am grateful for that every single day. And that's not bullshit. It's, I choose to look at the glass as half full as opposed to half empty, and I think a lot of people, unfortunately, look at it as the glass is half empty all the time. And it's just a negative feedback loop that you create when you do that. Part of the reason why I'm genuinely happy. I appreciate what I have, what I can do, and I just think I have an amazing life. And is it because, do I actually have an amazing life, or do I choose to look at my life as amazing? I think it's a combination of both. But one of the things that helped my happiness, and this is why I'm doing the video right now, because I was eating my lunch. The turning point, I think, in my happiness is when I stopped comparing myself to other people. And a lot of people think that they do, and I still do, obviously, a little bit, but not. When I stopped comparing myself to other people and thinking about, oh, well, this person has this and this, that, being a child of the 80s and 90s, it was all about, like I mentioned about balance, is all about like consuming. And you're always trying to measure up yourself against other people, and that's fucking bullshit. And what that does is it's just, you're never going to measure up. And there's always going to be something, if that is what is going to make you happy, is you measuring yourself against someone else, that is a fool's errand, and you're never going to never be happy. And it's part of an immigrant culture, I don't know, Asian culture, Chinese culture, whatever. And my parents and other Chinese parents, I noticed, because that's all we surround ourselves with. They constantly, and actually that's not true, that we surround ourselves with. But early on, all we knew were other Chinese families. But they're constantly comparing their kids, their lives against other people's, and it's just so toxic when you're comparing other kids to your kids to other kids. It's such a bad environment to raise a child that way. And and I apologize with my posts about Nate if that's what people perceive that I'm doing. It's not. I just want to share just this amazing ride that we're on. And more importantly, and I wanted to talk about this before, is that I don't want other people to compare their kids against Nate. He's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. The last thing I think about his grades. I want people to know is like, he's not a good student. He can't get into the colleges that he wanted to get into because of the system we have. You screw up your freshman year, you're screwed for the rest of your. In theory, you're screwed for the rest of your life. That's bullshit. Anyway, so no, please don't try to compare your kids to my boy, whatever. But going back to the thing about me stopping comparing myself to others. Once I got to a point in my life when I realized like that's not going to make me happy. That's not how I want to live my life. I don't give a shit. When I finally said, I don't give a shit what other people are doing. I'm going to be me, do me, and come what may. And that kind of turning point in my life, to bring this in kind of even more personal, is when I started my own company. So this was at this point in my life, so much stuff was happening in this 5-year period of my life. I decided in 2001 I started before that. I knew I was going to start my own business, but when is the difficult decision, and you're never ready. And so I decided February 2001 to start my own company in the winter during a recession. In the winter for an AC company, a one-man show. And at the point I wanted to, why I did that is because I wanted to do it during a recession, during the worst period of time that you could do it. Because if you can survive that, you can survive anything. And I proved that was the logic. So now I'm gone through several recessions. But anyway, so when I did that, I knew within 5 years, there's a super high probability. The odds were stacked against me that my company will go under, because most businesses, 85% of businesses fail within 5 years. I knew that I was going to be poor, and that inevitably I'm going to have to go back to work for someone else. But what I will have done was did what I said I was going to do and always wanted to try, was start my own business. But I knew what was going to come down the road, the highest probability. I was going to go out of business and have to go work for someone else eventually. But I knew that, and being poor. And Betsy was 100% behind that. And then we knew we were going to have a baby at the same time. So I got married. So February 2001, I started my company. September 12th, 2001, Betsy and I got married. August 6th, 2003, we had Nate. And then it was just all of these things piled on top of one another, but we knew exactly what these things were going to happen. And Betsy was 100% behind it. But more importantly for me, I knew I was going to be poor because I was starting a business, had no anticipation of actually succeeding in this, but I just wanted to try it, and Betsy was 100% behind me. And now looking back, I just thought of that, is that I knew I wasn't going to set the world on fire. That the odds were completely stacked against me. My expectations were so low for what was going to happen, that it was in a sense stressful, but also liberating at that point, because I automatically knocked myself down on this list of comparing yourself to other people. Automatically put myself down at the bottom. Poor. I was going to be poor. I was probably going to go out of business, and just this whole world of hurt. But it was something I had to try, and I did it. And then that's probably at the point where I stopped comparing myself to other people. And more importantly, that's where I realized that the people that were comparing themselves to other people were never going to be happy. They weren't happy, and they never were going to be happy. And so why go down that path? And so that was probably when that whole thing started. And in those 5 years, next 5 years, I basically hunkered down. I basically disappeared off the face of the earth, other than just working, staying home, taking care of the kid, helping Betsy, renovating this house. And it's not till I reemerged and started riding again and doing all kinds of stuff that all these lessons I had learned of kind of being away really helped. And that probably shaped my worldview more than anything else. Now that I think about it, is that once I stopped comparing myself to other people, and it just made me a much happier person. Because I had other things to worry about. So why, again, self-sabotage? Why add on to that? And and also, and that's the other thing is that during this time I'm starting this company, people are telling me, giving me advice, saying, hey, you should grow, big, and Betsy and I knew that wasn't what I wanted to do. I always wanted to stay a one-man company, doing commercial service, which is like impossible. It doesn't happen. I'm an outlier, and stay in business. So, and that was the crazy thing, is that we had these parameters that we set, and we stuck to them. Didn't try not to work on weekends. Try not to work in the evening. I'm home for dinner. Shit, I'm cooking dinner. But yeah, so that's how I stay positive. I look at the world as the glass is half full. It's supposed to half empty. And here's another exercise. Is if you're ever in a pit of self-pity and you're stuck and you're thinking, woe is me, my world sucks, this might help. Think of someone who's got it worse than you, and I guarantee you can think of someone who's got it worse than you. And if you can't think of someone that's got it worse than you, either I feel sorry for you, or I truly feel sorry for you, if that's actually the case, or you're never going to help yourself, because there's going to be someone in the world, you might not know this person, but there's someone in the world who's got it worse than you. And that should pump the brakes right there on your self-pity. And maybe then you can kind of pull yourself out of that and think about what you should be grateful for, and what you have to be grateful for, and what you can do to help yourself out of that situation. Okay, and now here's to help yourself out of that situation. And then this goes to the whole thing of my self-sabotage exercise. Whenever I start to find myself drifting into self-pity, or more importantly, upset about an outcome, upset about any kind of outcome in my life. Like in this case, I'll use the analogy of sports. So let's just say I lost a race. Immediately, I don't blame the person I just raced against. I don't blame anyone else other. But what I do is, Will, what could you have done to have prevented that outcome? Did you do all the necessary work in the preceding time frame? Let's say it was the national championships. Did you do everything you could in the preceding 364 days to prepare yourself for that moment that you lost that race? And that's when and I think about that. And then if I could say to myself, no, you did everything you could do, that person was just better with me, then like, how could you be upset about that? That person was just it's just a simpler, was just a better rider that day. And that keeps me from going into the self-pity spiral. Borderlines on self-loathing, but not that much, because you just know you've got another year to fix that mistake. Every day you wake up, you got another opportunity to reboot. And like whatever the saying is, like, yeah, every day you wake up is a chance to reinvent yourself. And know that when you wake up, it's not the end of that moment's not the end of the world. You got a chance to fix that. And that's like the thing when I post these videos. Obviously, it's narcissism, but it's also, I want people to understand and see like how much the joy and the enthusiasm that I get when I perform these things, because I'm filming them for the first, second, third time maybe that I've ever did them. And I want people to know that, yeah, you can be 49 and still do these crazy, amazing things. And your life isn't over, and you can reinvent yourself every day. And I think I have. I think I've proven just over the last several years is that every day I wake up, I reinvent myself. And it's an absolute joy for me, and I'm blessed. I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual, but I'm blessed, and I know that. And I hope me knowing that, that awareness, it comes out to people as being positive. And if that's what it is, I'm happy with that. But like I said, every day I wake up, I am grateful for this amazing, amazing life and all these chances and opportunities I've been given. And I don't want to blow it. I don't want to waste it. I don't want to squander it. And I don't think I have. But like every day, I'm going to keep on trying. I'm going to keep on trying and reinventing myself until I can't. And I hope people stick around to watch the ride. So anyway, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.